What's going on, everyone? This is Stephen Place, the lead strategist at Market Traders Daily, and today we're going to talk about meme stocks and those lovely names that were such runners at the beginning of 2021 that effectively created the market top and pushed us into that initial bear market. We're coming out of it. A lot of these meme stocks are starting to see some moves in a way that's a little different than what most people talk about. So those names like GameStop and AMC, they're near and dear to my heart. I didn't make it to the movie Dumb Money. I watched the first 30 minutes of it on an airplane. And it's interesting because I was one of the few who actually called the GameStop squeeze before it happened due to the option-related effects. And a couple days later, I talked about how GameStop was going to top out. And that was probably the most hated I've ever been on the internet. So we're going to talk about some names in that meme stock ecospace. And the reason I'm looking at them is one of the things we do at Market Traders Daily is we look at key insider purchases from corporate directors, CEOs, general counsel, VP, those kinds of names. And we're looking for significant buys and conviction buys where the buyer, expects the stock to go up. And then we can identify what catalysts are going to happen into that move. So if there's like an FDA event or earnings, potential merger, those are the things that we're watching out for. And sometimes you can start to see thematic plays pop up. If a lot of energy insiders are buying energy stocks, that tends to be a little bit weird, and maybe you want to start looking at some energy plays. And we're starting to see some names that are popping up, and I think they're worth a look. So the first one I'd like to talk about is BYON. And you may not have heard this ticker, but you've definitely heard about the company. This is a combination of Overstock and Bed Bath & Beyond. And Bed Bath & Beyond went bankrupt, RIP. It was one of the really good traders back in 2021, and then it stopped being a good trader. Overstock is a similar kind of move where back in 2020, everyone was shopping from home. Overstock ran from $2 all the way to $120, and since then it's been dead money. But what's interesting about this is I'm not exactly sure when the merger hit, but I want to point out this area right here, this trading range close to the bottom that we saw, okay? And yeah, you can't see it on the screen. All right. So if we look at some of the insider filings for BYON, and you can see that it switches to Overstock and things like that, there is a director, Marcus Lemonis, I'm going to mispronounce his name, who has been slowly aggregating his position. Okay. Back in October, he was buying 40,000 share buys, 20,000 share, 30,000 share buys, all at a price basis between about $15 and $17. And as the stock has rallied, he's actually continued to increase his position in the name, but just not as much. Now, if you look at this time period where most of the buys happened between, October 4th and November 15th, take a look at the trade action. Very choppy range. There was one nasty breakdown into that earnings event, but we didn't see any follow through after that earnings event. And in that $15 to $17 share range, that's where that insider was buying. Now from there, the stock has gone up 113% from those lows. All right. Now, I did not pay attention to this one. I wish I would have. But that's one of those things where the stock's trading near 52-week lows. It's trading like hot garbage. It looks like it's about to completely fall out of bed, but these insiders start slowly picking it up, and into that failed breakdown, that's a huge signal for you, and you could have followed along with these insiders. You don't have to know the exact workings of the Overstock Bed Bath & Beyond merger or anything along those lines. It's just we're looking for prices to go up because these insiders have information we don't know, okay? And as long as we don't know that, there's a lot of upside potential in these names. That's how the market operates. You rally with the rumor and then you sell into the news. Now, there was another one that just came along recently, and this was actually in Blackberry. And I'm going to show you why it's a bad trade. So let me go and pull up the Form 4. Again, all of these are available on the SEC Edgar database. So we're going to pull up Blackberry. And what was interesting about this is that it was the first purchase of any stock from an insider since 2020. And so when I see that, I'm trying to figure out, does this insider know something that we don't? Okay, so here's what the Form 4 looks like. It's on the Edgar database. And this is Philip Brace. And he went out and picked up 35,000 shares at a cost basis of $279. And this was purchased on February 14th. And so I see that and I say, okay, this stock's trading like hot garbage. It's trading near the lows. Does he know something that I don't? And the answer is probably not, because if you actually look at the news that hit on February 8th, Mr. Brace joined the board of directors. When we see an insider buy shortly after they join the board of directors or become the CFO or anything along those lines, oftentimes it's a share allocation as a function of executive compensation, or they're providing a show of good faith saying, okay, I like the stock. That, for me, does not have as much of a signal compared to somebody who's been at the company for 2 to 3 years, hasn't bought a single share, and all of a sudden they're loading up the boat. That's going to be much more of a signal. So I'm going to kick this one to the curb simply because the motivations of the insider are not necessarily about the stock going up. It's either executive compensation or, it's saying, hey, I really like the company. I want to be a team player. I'm going to buy the name. Now, 3 months or 6 months down the road, if Mr. Brace comes in and loads the boat again, and if we see other insiders buying Blackberry in size, that's a huge signal. And you can probably go out and buy some call options and maybe make a good bit of change with that. And then there's one that we just got done trading a little bit, and this is in Big Bear AI. And we had an insider come out and purchase at the end of the year. And this person had been, or currently is, at the company and has been at the company for a long time. And this was their first open market purchase ever. This was Mrs. Pamela Braden. And she went out and picked up 50,000 shares of Big Bear at a cost basis of $1.92 a share. Now the stock's currently trading up 366. It was actually trading a little bit higher than that. It's getting taken to the woodshed right now for various reasons. The market is in risk off mode. The AI trade is a little bit over its skis. And that's why we went out and we picked up these shares. We picked up some call options. We sold half of the shares, 87% profit potential, and then the call options with a 275% profit potential. I'm still long-term bullish on this. It's probably just due for a fade. One of the reasons I say that is if you look at the volume that had accumulated during that sell-off, there was a very large pocket of prior bag holders that as we were to come into that level, it's not unreasonable to expect sellers to come back in. So if it pulls back, it starts to carve out and starts to roll up, we'll look to add back to our position. So those are the kinds of opportunities that you can get with following insiders into pre-catalyst stocks. Again, we don't know what they know. We can make some pretty good guesses, but if we start to see price movement that improves right after those insider positions and you've got a really nice setup, it's pretty straightforward to find names that have the potential for triple digits gains on their options and high double digits on the stock as well. If you'd like to learn how to do exactly this, we've just finished up the Insider Advantage Masterclass, which is the best way for you to learn how to do this from me. You're going to get everything I know, process workflows, key performance indicators on individual stocks. You've got an extra value investing course that goes with it. You get the scanners and the screeners and how to invest in these names and how to trade with options so that you can follow along with that education. And then if you want, you can come work with me and look at the trade alerts and the trade setups that I'm playing as well. So if you want to get access to that, there's going to be a link below this video to the Insider Advantage Masterclass. Click on that, sign up. It's very affordable. I think you'll like it, and you'll see the power of trading with insiders once you get done with that class. I will see you on the other side. Have a great day.